Guys, Andy here with VSiN.com, getting you set for Monday's NHL action, and let's talk about the New York Rangers and Carolina Hurricanes. These two teams combined for almost 150 shot attempts at 5-on-5. That's a really high pace, and these two teams already play at a very high pace. I like the looks of things. I didn't like the Rangers going 0 for 7 on the power play. The total would have sailed over if not for that. But I'm going back to the well here and betting over 5.5 goals at minus 115 in the Rangers and Hurricanes game today. Next up, we've got the Montreal Canadiens and Pittsburgh Penguins. And of course, Montreal pulled off the upset as a plus 145 underdog on the back of an elite performance by Carey Price. Now, prior to the playoffs, I alluded to the fact that Carey Price does have these type of performances up his sleeve. However, we shouldn't expect to see them as often as we would have a few years ago, and that remains true. Nothing has changed. Price played great, but the Canadiens are going to have to really up their game if they wish to find success again in this series. They did not play good. They only owned about 44% of the expected goal share at 5-on-5, which is really uncharacteristic for a team that finished third in that category in the regular season. So yeah, we can't rely on Carey Price to carry this team to the next round. I think they're going to really have to up their game. I believe they can do so, but at plus 145, I didn't really like them in game one, and I don't like them in game two. I have the Penguins winning the series about 45% of the time now. So Montreal is a favorite at about minus 120, but there is no value on that price either. Moving on to the Chicago Blackhawks and the Edmonton Oilers. Most of you know that I was very adamant that the Blackhawks were the best series bet of the bunch heading into the qualifying round, and I feel kind of vindicated after their performance in game one. It was a very convincing win, a 6-4 win, helped out by the fact that the Oilers decided to start 38-year-old Mike Smith, but it wasn't all that surprising if you had read the 2020 hockey betting guide. We talked about Smith and him being the potential starter for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I believe that there is a good chance the Edmonton Oilers could start Mikko Koskinen in the next game, and if that's the case, their chances of winning do improve. But the Blackhawks are the favorite to take down the Oilers in this series now that they're up one game. I have them winning the best of 5 series about 64% of the time. That's a fair line of about minus 180, which means there's value, believe it or not, betting the Blackhawks to win the series at minus 160. The Winnipeg Jets suffered a huge blow to their playoff chances when they lost Mark Scheifele and later on Patrik Laine to injury. Now, Scheifele's injury looked really bad. He got a skate to the back of the leg, and I think it's very unlikely that we see him in the rest of this qualifying round. Now, Laine is a little bit more mysterious, but it does look like he is doubtful to play in game two, and if that's the case, the Jets' odds in the game take a big hit here, but I don't see value in the Flames in the minus 150 neighborhood. I'm just not a big fan of this mediocre Calgary Flames team. Sure, they look really good against a Winnipeg Jets team who had the worst expected goals for percentage at 5-on-5 in the NHL in the regular season, but I think they won't fare as well once they meet another team in the Western Conference, should they roll over the Winnipeg Jets. We also have a pair of round-robin games, the Washington Capitals and the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you read my piece in Point Spread Weekly last Wednesday, you would know that we are on the Lightning at minus 125. Now, that line has shot up to the neighborhood of minus 135, so there's not a lot of value there. And there's not a lot of value, in my opinion, in the other game featuring two Western Conference powerhouses in the Dallas Stars and Vegas Golden Knights. I'll be watching that game for energy levels and just to see how the Vegas Golden Knights play without Max Pacioretty. Well, that's it for me. I'll be back tomorrow to get you set for Tuesday's action. Good luck, gamble responsibly, and don't forget to watch VSiN and subscribe to the VSiN newsletter.